Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I'm going to be driving through the town of Fremont, Indiana. Now, before I go too far in this video, there's one thing I would like to point out. Now, on the 15th of January of this year, 2023, there was a house fire here in town, which took a total of 4 people. It took the lives of a mother along with her 3 children. Now, the fire happened around 5 in the morning, and this house is located on East Toledo Street. And now, later on in this video, you will see the house. You'll see exactly what I'm discussing. So, anyhow, this fire happened 5 in the morning on East Toledo Street. That's around the time when 911 was called. And a few minutes after that, there were several different fire departments that arrived at the house, to include Angola, Orland, and Ashley and Hudson fire departments were dispatched. Now, the firefighters found 3 children and an adult. That's going to be the mother and her 3 children in this house that was at the time actively burning. Unfortunately, all the victims succumbed to their injuries. I mean, they all were sent to the hospital. I think the mother went to Angola Hospital, and the children went somewhere to a children's hospital. No, the children went to Angola Hospital, I believe, and if I'm correct, the mother went somewhere to a burn unit, which sadly, they all succumbed to their injuries. So, when you guys see this, now for those of you that are watching this video that live in the area, most likely you knew these people were your neighbors. And for those of you that are related to these people or you're close to these people that I'm discussing, I'm going to start with saying my condolences goes out to all of y'all. My condolences to the family, friends, and to the Fremont, Indiana community. And so yeah, it was a very tragic situation. I can tell by the way the house was looking. So if you guys want to fast forward to the house that I'm discussing, feel free to. It's going to be at the 13-minute mark of this video. So feel free to look at the house if you want to, and then you can always rewind back to get the rest of my commentary on this video. So yeah, first and foremost, my condolences goes out to the family, to the friends, to the community, everybody that may have known those people and cared about them. And it also, and when I looked at that house, I knew something bad happened in that house, and I could tell by the way people went over there and put stuffed animals and stuff on the fence that there was a tragedy that took place at this house. So, to me, that was just another reminder that, sometimes in life, things happen at no control of our, things happen beyond our control. I mean, sadly, there's people that have their houses catch on fire, and maybe they had no homeowners insurance, and if they survive the house fire, they instantly become homeless. Now, sadly, in this particular situation that I'm discussing, all the people that were in the house passed on. So, like I said, it's a sad situation. But between this house that I'm discussing, but you guys will see later on in this video, between that and all the tornadoes that I've recorded when I was doing my videos earlier in Alabama, to me, these are just constant reminders that at the end of the day, you gotta recognize what in your life is truly important. I'm not, I don't know how to say this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is whatever you value monetarily, understand that at the blink of an eye, it could be gone and no control of your own. And like I discussed before, when it comes to your income, I would say 95% of Americans or better are only one health condition or one health catastrophe or one major injury away from being broke and losing it all. When I say lose it all, I'm talking monetarily. Like you lose your income, everything that you had, you lose a bunch of your stuff because you can no longer make the payments. I'm talking stuff like that. Now, don't get it twisted, however. I'm not saying live your life in misery. I'm not saying don't go out here and enjoy life. And for those of you that got the financial means to buy nice stuff, to buy yourself a nice house for you and your family, to buy nice cars, I'm not saying don't go out here and do any of that stuff. I'm not saying that at all. Enjoy life however you feel fit, provided that it's legal and you're not hurting nobody in the process. What I'm saying is, while you're enjoying life, don't look down on other people that may not have the fortune to enjoy life like you might have. Like if you're working a 6-figure job and you're making good money, living in a nice neighborhood, driving nice cars, nice clothes, congratulations. There's people out here, for whatever reason, their jobs don't pay 6 figures. Their job might pay 25 a year. And what I'm trying to tell you folks is don't make fun of those people. Don't look down on those people. As long as they're working and staying out of trouble and they're not bothering you and yours, don't make fun of those people. I know it's kind of cliche that I say that, but I feel it needs to be said. Now, I don't know. Now me personally, I'm all over this YouTube stuff. I watch videos like this, and I also watch other YouTube videos because I'm just a YouTube junkie. That's one of the things that got me into making my own videos and having my own channel. And and to be quite frank, I hear a lot of females these days talk about how if a man doesn't have X amount of money, she's not going to date him. I hear, I see content on YouTube, on TikTok like that, every day, all day. There's so much of that kind of stuff up on social media, it's sickening. And it makes me sick, it really does. Because for you ladies out here, your man might earn a 6-figure income today. Something bad could happen. And he could lose that 6-figure job for whatever reason and be down to making 0. And when that happens, you gotta be prepared. I mean, you gotta. I mean, at least in the back of your mind, you gotta think. You know, if he's making 6 figures today, he could be making 0 tomorrow for whatever reason. For whatever reason, he could be driving a Hellcat today, and then tomorrow something could happen to his finances, and he might be forced to drive a rusted out 2010 Ford Focus. Or if you see someone and you assume that they're down and out and they're not doing all that well for themselves, just think in the back of your mind. You don't know that person. You don't know. Oh, I apologize for that, by the way. I went over that bump and that happened. So just give it a minute or two and things will return back to normal. But anyways, like I was saying, when you see somebody out and about, you never know what they've been through. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're going through. And a little bit of compassion, a little bit of courtesy, just being nice to somebody can go a very long way in those type of situations. So when I see tragedies like this house, this White House on the corner that you all see, I mean, we're going to be there in a minute or so. You guys are going to get a closer look at that. So, you know, when tragedies like that come up and people have to go through it. And also, during my travels, as many of you guys know, I don't check into hotels for the most part. I sleep in my minivan. And I typically sleep at traveling stops. Now, I notice more and more than ever before that there's more people living out of their vehicles. And I'm not just talking part-time, I'm talking full-time. I mean, there's more people living out of their vehicles than what many of you would like to realize. I mean, I see people pulling in, you know, they're living out their van, they're living out of their car, and I think I'm a pretty good judge of who's living out their vehicle full time and who's doing it part time. Now I see people pull into to some of these truck stops. Their vehicle is loud. It sounds like the thing barely. Oh, by the way, people, this is the house I'm talking about. That's the house I'm talking about, where the whole family passed on and because they could succumb to their injuries during the house fire. That's the house I'm talking about. Now, so for those of you that, I don't know if the house is still standing or not, but if it's still standing, all I ask you guys to do is one thing: just be respectful of the family, be respectful of that community. Don't go there and start stealing stuff. Don't go there and start vandalizing. You know, if you see that house because you recognize it from this video, all I ask you to do is be respectful of the family and be respectful of the community. Now, like I was saying before, you know, as I travel to make these videos, I mean, I see more and more people pulling up into truck stops, pulling up into these rest areas rather. And, you know, I see people pulling up with vehicles that sound like they barely even run. Like they're on their very last legs. If that vehicle quits running the next morning, well, that person is going to most likely not have a mode of transportation. And for the time that that vehicle is in the shop, if they can even afford it, they may not even have a place to lay their head. And I've seen vehicles also with expired license tags. And to me, those are typical indications that someone is really going through it. So if you see someone that's going through it like that, please don't judge those people. I mean, okay, maybe they got a drug addiction issue. Maybe they're addicted to alcohol. Who knows? Maybe they could be addicted to gambling. Who the hell knows? All I'm going to tell you guys is, take the bigger road. Don't judge these people. Don't, all this judging and pointing fingers and back when I was this, back when I was that, I didn't do that shit, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. I mean, because in my opinion, there's enough people out here in this society that point fingers, that judge other people, and they ain't got not a damn answer for anything out here. All they know how to do is point fingers and judge and stir up controversy. So don't be that kind of person. I mean, right now, during this time of inflation, you got a lot of people going through some crazy shit. So you just never know. I mean, you never know how that, like I say, you never know what a person's been through. And honestly, not to sound ridiculous here, but you run up on the wrong person with your cocky attitude, that could potentially be the end of your life. And I do mean every word of that. Because some people out here ain't wrapped too tight. Some people out here done been through so much that, one little thing that someone says wrong to them, they're going to snap, and it is what it is. So, I know I've been on a 16-minute rant about the house fire and everything, but this is a message that I feel you guys need to hear. Because there's way too many people out here judging and pointing fingers and just doing, dumb stuff like that. So anyways, on to the normal program. So, Fremont, Indiana is located on the far northeast section of Indiana, right by southeast Michigan and northwest Ohio. Fremont is located in Steuben County. I think that's how I pronounce it. And the population is at 2,208 people. And as of the 2020 census, this town has lost 2% of its people. Now, if you want to live here in Fremont, the median home price is going to be $158,000. Now, there is a house for sale right now, at least according to Realtor.com. The house is for sale for $50,000. However, it is a fixer-upper. Now, you do have a fair amount of houses up there that are for sale for less than $200,000. So I would say, all in all, this area is relatively affordable. And I forgot to look up how far Fremont is from Fort Wayne, so let me do that real quick. Fremont, Indiana to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne is 51 minutes from Fremont by car in light traffic.
Alright.
Here are your directions.
So, as you guys probably heard, Fremont is 51 minutes away from Fort Wayne. Fremont is 51 minutes north of Fort Wayne, to be more specific. Let's see something here. Now, the closest city to Fremont, the closest smaller city to Fremont is going to be Angola, which I will be doing a video of Angola tomorrow, so stay tuned for that video. But as far as the closest city that's going to be significantly larger with much more amenities, it's going to be Angola, which is 13 minutes south of Fremont. And as far as it goes for crime here in Fremont, crime here is very low. Both violent crime and property crime are well below national average. And the racial demographics here are going to be 94.7% white and 1.4% Asian. And Fremont was first settled in 1834. Now back then this area was known as Willow Prairie. Then it became the village of Brockville in 1837, the year it was platted. And then the city was renamed in honor of John C. Fremont, an American explorer, military officer, and politician. And the city was renamed because apparently there was already a Brockville in Indiana. Now, when I looked that up, I didn't see it. I don't know if it was an unincorporated community. The closest I saw to Brockville was Brookville, which Brookville is located on the south, towards the southeast part of Indiana. So, I'm not sure about that part. Now, if you want to live here in Fremont and you don't want to have to drive all the way into Fort Wayne, for those of you that do blue collar work, I would suspect that there's plenty of blue collar opportunities available given the amount of manufacturing facilities that are here, such as Carver Non-Woven Technologies, Swager Communications, I think is how you pronounce it, New Horizon Baking Company, Health Equipment Manufacturing, Dexter Axle, and Cardinal IG. And of course, you go 13 minutes down the street, you'll be in Angola. So I'm going to suspect that if you're a blue collar worker, you can probably find work around this general area. You're not going to have to drive all the way down to Fort Wayne. Now, if you're a white collar worker, chances are you're probably going to have to take that trip into Fort Wayne. And also, when it comes to entertainment, you're going to have to take that trip into Fort Wayne. Unless you're one of those kind of people that entertainment is not really all that important. Now, if you're the kind of person that the small things get you excited, the small things hold your interest, then, a few things you can do here in Fremont is you got the Wild Winds Buffalo Preserve. You can go visit that. You got Satek Winery, that's Satek Winery. You got Tri-State Recreation Area with walking trails. And if you're a fan of pickles, you got the Pickle Factory here in town as well. I believe the Pickle Factory is downtown, if I'm correct. And from what I've researched, the town of Fremont received $500,000 from the state of Indiana to revive the downtown area, to improve pedestrian traffic, new street lights and signs. Now, apparently all this was done towards the end of 2011 to early 2012. Now, I don't know how many of you care about that, but just in case anyone cares about that, I thought I'll throw it in this video. And my 2 cents about Fremont. Now, I think if you're looking for a smaller rural community in northern Indiana, in northeast Indiana, Obviously, if you want to live up here, you better be good with some cold weather, because it does get pretty cold up here. At least to me it does. You better be good with some snow, because obviously it's going to snow up here. I mean, given that this area is right up by the state of Michigan, for those of you that know any type of geography, you know, Michigan is north, and the state of Indiana is right below that. And this county in Fremont, the county where Fremont, Indiana is located, is just below the state of Michigan. So, you know, obviously it's going to get cold up here, and they're going to get some snow. In fact, the day that I recorded this video, I believe the temperature was 35 degrees, give or take. And remind you, I recorded this video on the second. It was the third week. It was the third week of April when I recorded this video, and this was during the afternoon. And during the afternoon on this day, I think the temperature was hovering between the mid 30s to the upper 30s. And it was also windy this day, so with the wind chill, the temperatures most likely felt like it was in the 20s. So that's just to illustrate the type of climate that you can expect if you live up here in Northeast Indiana. Now, if you're good with colder weather and snow, if you're good with temperatures not getting warmer and staying warmer until probably the second or third week of May, then, you know, and like I say, if you're looking for a small town to reside in, this town might be the place for you. I mean, housing prices here are relatively affordable. You're within an hour of Fort Wayne. For more amenities and what this town has to offer, you're less than 15 minutes down the street from Angola. And I would say for the most part, this town is relatively clean. Most people appear to take care of their homes and maintain their yards. Now I would say the part of the city here, the part of the town here that might be the least kept is going to be the area where that one house that caught on fire was located. But even in that area, if you guys can remember, even in that area, most of the houses didn't look too bad. Most of the yards didn't look too bad. So I would say, all in all, this is a fairly clean and quiet and low-key community for somebody to live if you're looking to live in small town Indiana. So, alright folks, that's going to conclude this video. It's going to conclude my commentary. There's still like a couple minutes left of the video, so you guys know what to do at this point. You know, feel free to comment below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. And to help with the YouTube algorithm, I would also appreciate if you guys give this video a thumbs up. So on that note, y'all have a blessed one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.